Hello students, welcome to chemistry class. So today we are going to start our new chapter, that is study of first element, hydrogen. Okay, chapter 6, hydrogen. Okay, in this chapter we are going to study about hydrogen. Okay, you know very well it's first element of the periodic table. Okay, its position, it lies in the group first. Okay, its position in the group first, at the top of the group first. Okay, its atomic number is 1. Its atomic number is 1. That means it having only one electron in its outermost shell. Its nucleus and only having one electron in outermost shell. Okay, it possesses dual nature. Dual nature means double nature. Just because of this, it possesses dual nature. Why? Because we have to complete our shell by 2 electrons. Okay, it's duplet rule. It have hydrogen have to complete its shell. Okay, how? If it will gain 1 electron, okay, then it will become H2. It will having 2 electrons. Okay, or it will remove this electron. Okay, then it will become H negative like this. If it will gain 1 electron, then it will become H positive. So that means it having 2 characters, that is electropositive alkali and another one electronegative halogens. Okay, that's why we can place it in group 17 also. Okay, why? Because it possesses electronegative nature. Okay, you know very well H2 hydrogen forms a covalent bond with another like this. It having 1 electron, it will bond with another hydrogen like this, and it will form H2. This will become H2. Okay, and halogens also do this. Cl2, F2, okay, Br2. So this is the nature of halogens. Or it will remove its 1 electron, so it will become electropositive alkali. That's why it is placed in group first. Okay, so hydrogen shows both similarities of group first and group 17 also, both. Okay, next there is similarity. If we talk about electronic configuration, its valency is 1, as having group first. All elements of group first, okay, they all are univalent. So hydrogen is also univalent. Okay, it also form ion. It form H plus like other elements like lithium forms Li positive, and Na, sodium form Na1 positive because it donates 1 electron. Valency, 1 valence. Its reaction, strong affinity for non-metals. Hydrogen have also strong affinity for non-metals. That's why it forms water with oxygen. Okay, and H2S, hydrogen sulfide, with reaction after sulfur, chlorine. Okay, after chlorine, it reacts with chlorine, then forms HCl. Okay, as other elements do. It's reducing agent. Okay, it's very strong reducing agent like other group first elements. Okay, so similarity with halogens. How? Electronic configuration will be 1 electron less than the nearest noble gas, as they all have, group 17 all have 1 less than noble gas. It will also have, because it can form helium. Okay, 1 less than noble gas. Another, it form ion formation. It also can form H1 negative, because if it will lose its 1 electron. Valency, electrovalency and covalency exhibited. Both electrovalency and covalency both can be exhibited, as it forms NaH, like NaH, sodium hydroxide, sodium hydrogen, and then another one will be covalent bond will be CH4. Okay, hydrogen will form 4 bond with carbon. So it can form electrovalent bond as well as covalent bond. Atomicity, that means it can bond 2 electrons. Hydrogen itself can bond and then make H2 like Cl2, like Br2, I2. Okay, all halogens do the similar thing. Okay, so these are the similarities between them. Next there is occurrence. Okay, hydrogen was initially called inflammable gas when it was discovered. Why it was called inflammable gas? Because it is very explosive with air. It's very reactive. If it comes in contact with air, it can explode. That's why it is called inflammable gas. Okay. Next there is occurrence. In the free state, hydrogen stands 19th in abundance. Okay, it's ninth position in abundance among the elements on earth crust. Okay. Next there is hydrogen is seldom found in the free state on planet earth, or on the earth it is found everywhere, hydrogen. Okay. Next there is in the combined state in plant and animal tissues. You might have heard about it, about hydrocarbons. Hydrocarbons are present everywhere in plant tissues, in animals. Okay. So in water there is hydrogen. Okay, so its occurrence. After that there is preparation. How can we prepare hydrogen? So general methods, we will talk about general methods. We can prepare hydrogen with metal and cold water. If we will react metal and cold water, it will form metal hydroxide and hydrogen. Like metal we have potassium, sodium. So if we react potassium with cold water, it will form 2KOH, that is potassium hydroxide, metal hydroxide, and hydrogen will be evolved. Next there is 2Na, that is sodium, it's metal. If it will react with water, it will form sodium hydroxide. Okay, sodium hydroxide and water H2 gas will be evolved. Next there is, if we will treat metal with boiled water, so metal plus boiled water will give metal oxide and hydrogen. Okay, why boiled? What is the difference between these two things? Okay, due to cold water, there will be the hydrogen will sustain here, but here the complete hydrogen will evaporate. Okay, due to boiled water. See, it will form metal oxide. So if we react magnesium with water, then magnesium oxide will form and H2O will be evolved. If we will react aluminium with water steam, it will form aluminium oxide and hydrogen. If zinc and steam, ZnO, that is zinc oxide and hydrogen. So you have to learn these things, that metal, if we will react metal with water, it will give us metal oxide and hydrogen. Okay, third there is, if we will react metal plus acid, these all are general methods. Okay, metal plus acid, it will form salt and hydrogen. There will be a salt and hydrogen gas will be evolved. For example, metal, there is magnesium. If we react it with HCl, hydrochloric acid, it will form magnesium chloride, MgCl2, and hydrogen gas will be evolved. If zinc will be react with H2SO4 sulfuric acid, zinc sulfate and hydrogen gas will be evolved. Next there is, if we will react metal with alkali, that is base, so again it forms salt and hydrogen. So zinc, if there is metal zinc, and alkali, that means potassium hydroxide, sodium hydroxide. Okay, these are the bases. So if we will react with alkali NaOH, it will form a salt, that is sodium zincate, Na2ZnO2 plus hydrogen gas. If we will react zinc with potassium hydroxide, KOH, its base, it will form K2ZnO2, that is potassium zincate and hydrogen gas. So these are the general methods. Generally you can mix up two things and then the hydrogen gas will be evolved. Okay, next there is laboratory method. Okay, there is one laboratory method. In this method, we will add zinc with dilute hydrochloric acid. It will form, see again it's metal and acid. Metal and acid gives salt and hydrogen gas. So similarly it will happen. It will form a salt, that is zinc chloride and hydrogen gas. Okay. So this is the setup, how it will occur. See, we will take a round bottom flask. It's a round bottom flask. Okay, there is, we will place zinc granules, that means the brittle particles of zinc metal. Okay, so zinc granules will be here, and then there will be a crystal panel. Crystal panel means here we will put HCl, okay, and then HCl will pour down here drop by drop, okay. So we will put it down. Now here will be reaction of zinc and HCl. So what will happen? Salt will form here, ZnCl2, and hydrogen gas will start to evolve. So hydrogen gas will be escape from here, from this tube. The hydrogen gas will be come out from this tube, and we will put it another tube, okay. It's a beaker filled with water, and there is a gas jar. We put it inwardly, okay. Gas jar, it's filled with water, and then the hydrogen gas will start to come here, and it will go upward, okay. So here is a downward displacement of water. That means water was filled here, but water will start to come down, and hydrogen gas will be start to collect at this place. So this is called downward displacement of water, okay. Water will be displaces downward. So this is how we can get hydrogen from laboratory method. There is one more thing. When we react HCl with zinc, so zinc granules contains lots of impurities in it, okay. So we have to remove those impurities also. So in this setup there will be 3 washer bottles, okay. First washer bottle will contain AgNO3 solution, that means silver nitrate solution. It will remove the impurity like arsine and phosphine, okay. There will be a washer bottle 2. It will contain lead nitrate solution. It will remove hydrogen sulfide. Hydrogen sulfide is a impurity in it, okay. Next there is washer bottle 3. It will contain potassium hydroxide solution, and it will remove like nitrogen dioxide, carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide. These impurities will be removed by this. Last there will be U tube. This is called U tube, okay. U-shaped tube. It will be at 4th position. So it contains CaCl2 and hydrous CaCl2, which will absorb moisture, okay. Which will absorb moisture, and dry HCl gas we will collect here. Dry HCl gas, okay. So this was the laboratory method. Next there is industrial method, okay. There is the industrial method. How hydrogen forms in industries, okay. Okay, there is a Bosch process. The preparation in industries, okay. Industrial method is called Bosch process. Bosch process. There will be 3-step reaction, okay. 3-step reaction. So in step first we will mix a coke, okay. Coke with steam, hydrogens, water steam. That means coke plus H2O. This is steam, and this is the coke. It will form CO plus H2, okay, and this is called water gas. This is called water gas. CO plus H2 is called water gas, okay. So this reaction will be occurred at 1000 degrees Celsius, 1000 degrees Celsius. Next there is step 2. Step 2 will be now this water gas again it will be this water gas. It's collectively water gas. It will be again diluted with excess steam. That means we have to pass this with excess of steam, again steam, and it will give you carbon dioxide and hydrogen gas. That means it will be carbon dioxide and H2O, sorry, H2 hydrogen gas, okay. 2H2 hydrogen gas, okay. It will be, this reaction will be at 450 degrees Celsius. Next there is step 3rd reaction. Step 3rd, separation of carbon dioxide and unreacted carbon monoxide. So if there is there will be a unreacted carbon monoxide and carbon dioxide. carbon dioxide, we have to separate these three things. So in step third, we will separate these both. Okay, how? We can remove CO2 by dissolving mixture in caustic potash solution. That means 2 KOH plus CO2. If we will do 2 KOH plus CO2, okay, we have to mix it. Okay, by dissolving mixture in, and then we will get K2CO3 and H2O. Okay, and about CO, what will we do? We will mix the mixture in ammoniacal cuprous chloride. Ammoniacal, that means CuCl, ammoniacal, CuCl plus CO. We have to mix this solution in it. CO and plus 2H2O, that is water. We have to mix water. It will give you CuCl dot CO dot H2O. Okay, so here the carbon monoxide is separated. From here we remove the carbon dioxide. Okay, so this will be a industrial method. Okay, industrial method. Next, one more industrial method, that is electrolysis of water. If we will electrolyze the water, it will give us 2H2 plus O2. Directly it will break down into 2H2 and O2. And another reaction will be if CH4. CH4 is rich in hydrogen gas. Okay, so CH4 will react with H2O. If it will react with water, it will give you CO plus H2, 3H2. Okay, here hydrogen gas will be evolved and carbon monoxide gas will be evolved. Okay, so this is how industrial methods done. Okay. Okay, next there is test for hydrogen. Test, that means if we will see its color. Hydrogen is colorless gas. Okay, colorless. Odor, it's odorless. There is no any odor. Density, it's very lighter than air. That means air is heavy and hydrogen is lesser. Okay, lighter. Combustibility. Pure hydrogen burns quietly in air. Hydrogen is very reactive with air. If it can come in contact with air, there will be explode. It starts to burn. Okay, hydrogen air mixture burn with characteristic pop sound. If hydrogen air mixture, there is a mixture, it will burn with a pop sound. Okay, what are the uses of hydrogen? General uses are like hydrogen used as a fuel. Okay, in the form of coal gas, water gas, liquid hydrogen. Okay, so combustion of hydrogen, we can use it as combustion. Okay, hydrogen gas is used as a combustion. Okay, used for combustion. Liquid hydrogen is non-polluting and easy to store. Liquid hydrogen, okay, liquid hydrogen is non-polluting. It does not produce any pollution and it's easy to store. Next, there is manufacture of another things like ammonia, hydrogen chloride. Okay, so it can form ammonia, hydrogen chloride, and it can conversion of hydrogen to water and hydrogen sulfide also. Okay, these are the basic uses. Okay, so next there is in hydrogenation reactions. Hydrogenation means addition of hydrogen. Okay, addition of hydrogen. When we add hydrogens to another thing, that is called hydrogenation. So hydrogenation of oils, in oils, hydrogenation process occurs in the presence of nickel. Nickel is act as catalyst. Hydrogenation of coal. Okay, so here we can use it. Next, there is extraction of metals. If we want to extract any metal from its ores, then hydrogen gas also helped us. Okay, in welding and cutting metals, if we need to cut any metals through welding, okay, then hydrogen flame will be help. Hydrogen flame will help here. Okay, then next there is oxidation reduction reactions. You know, reduction is addition of hydrogen. Okay, and oxidation is addition of oxygen. So wherever there is oxidation reduction reaction, hydrogen will be there. Okay. Okay, so oxidation and reaction reduction, you know very well what is oxidation. Oxidation is addition of oxygen to any substance and removal of hydrogen, and reduction is addition of hydrogen and removal of oxygen. Okay, so this is called redox reaction. When these reactions occur together, oxidation plus reduction, it will be called redox reaction. It will be called redox reaction. Okay, together it's called redox reaction. Okay, so example of oxidation, like if we add 2Cu plus O2. Okay, if we add carbon with copper, we add oxygen, it will form 2CuO, that is copper oxide. Okay, it will form copper oxide. Okay, next there is, okay, lots of oxidation and reduction reactions given in your book. You can practice them. Okay, you can practice them with these examples. And reduction reactions are also there, like removal of oxygen from a compound is called reduction. So there is an example given, copper oxide plus hydrogen. That means there is an oxygen in this copper. Okay, copper oxide. So we want to remove this oxygen. How will do it? We add hydrogen and oxygen will be removed from here. So it will become Cu. Okay, the oxygen will remove here and it will become H2O. So this is reduction reaction. Okay, lots of reactions are given here. So you can see them. Okay, redox reactions are where removal of oxygen and addition of hydrogen will be simultaneous. There will be oxidation and reduction reaction. Okay. On the basis of this, there are oxidizing agents and reducing agents. Oxidizing agents are those which loses oxygen. Okay, oxygen and gains hydrogen. Okay, oxidizing agents are those which lose oxygen and gain hydrogen. And reducing agents will be gain oxygen and loses the hydrogen. Those will be reducing agents. So some example of oxidizing agents are like O2, O3, Cl2, F2, okay, MnO2, manganese oxide, and Pb3O4, that is lead oxide. Okay, and example of reducing agents like metals. Okay, lots of metals, HCl, HF, carbon monoxide, sulfur dioxide. These are the good reducing agents. Okay, so now, so this is the basic things I have told about. You have to practice these reactions. Okay, with the help of your book. Okay, oxidation and reduction, what are they, or what are oxidizing and reducing agents? Okay, and what is the difference between the position of hydrogen in group 17 and group first? So these are the basic things here, and some reactions from the preparation you have to learn. Okay, so this was the chapter. In next session we will study our next chapter, that is study of gas laws. Okay, thank you.